Happy hump day, guys. It's Wednesday. Can you guys believe it already? So today we're going to discuss a strategy that is near and dear to my heart, carb cycling, which is a dietary strategy that enables you to vary your carb amounts throughout a certain period. So here what we'll do is we vary our carb amounts over a week. And why I say that this is near and dear to my heart is because approximately 7 years ago, after I had our second son, Maddox, I lost most of my baby weight, but for whatever, I was just holding on to that last 10 pounds. And I really just didn't know what to do because, I was 6 years older than I was after having Marcus, our first child. And after him, I was 29 years old. It fell right off, right? No issue. But with Maddox, I was 35, I was a bit older, and I was really kind of hanging on to about 10 extra pounds, mostly in my tummy area. And I really was just determined somehow to get it off. So I ended up hiring a macro coach, and she focused on not only macros, but carb cycling. And you kind of can guess what it is, right? You're cycling carbs in a different way, but I had really never heard of it before and had obviously never applied it. So I was very interested, and I worked with her for over a 12-week period. And I would say at the 6-week mark, I had lost the 10 pounds. It was gone. My stomach was starting to tighten up again. And then I worked with her for an additional 6 weeks just to make sure that I was good to go. And the rest is history, guys. I literally have been following this TTP for the past 7 years. And I think it's the most effective strategy when you couple it with macro tracking. It's huge. And so this advanced weight loss strategy is something that I'm so excited for you guys to implement, just because you will see results with this strategy. If you can think about, we're all busy, right? We're either busy moms, busy professionals. Some of us are both. And it is really hard to try to cook meals for yourself, meals for your family, and try to do all the things. So this really enables you to eat the meals that your family eats, make one meal for your family. And of course you're gonna have, in my family, my kids are a little bit pickier. I'm picky. And so I have to vary things a little bit, but for the most part, the main meal is the same for all of us. And that really helps, especially whenever I'm trying to meal prep on a Sunday for almost a whole week. Not to mention also, we've got things on the weekends, such as birthday parties. My husband and I like to go out on a date night every once in a while. And I don't want to feel like just because I went out on a date with my husband that I've completely blown my diet and I need to completely start over again on Monday, right? And I don't want that for you either. So what's great about how we pair our carb cycling, we pair it with our workouts so that we can achieve maximum results. And we typically have our high carb days. So I'll tell you, Monday and Tuesday is going to be high carb days. Wednesday and Thursday, low carb days. Friday and Saturday, high carb days. And honestly, what is Friday and Saturday? Friday and Saturday is when you're typically going to those birthday parties, going to those date nights, etc. And then Sunday, we finish out the week with a low carb day. So also what we do is we pair those days with our workouts. So on our high carb days, there's going to be 4 per week. We are going to be executing strength training, resistance training on those days, because on those days, you guys, we're trying to build muscles, and we will build our muscles through having carbohydrates. And then on our low carb days, our goal is to eliminate the carbs in our body, get rid of that glycogen. And we can do that through low carbs and then also high intensity cardio or any type of cardio that's going to help us expend those carbohydrates and the glycogen so that we can tap into our fat stores. So if you can imagine a bucket, right? And at the bottom of the bucket, this is going to be our fat. And at the top of the bucket is going to be our carbohydrates. If you're eating the same amount of carbohydrates per day, you're probably just sitting like this. You might empty a little bit out, but not much, because by the time you keep replenishing it with carbohydrates, the bucket kind of stays stagnant. But if you can imagine on Wednesday, like today, a low carb day, if you're only putting in a little bit, then you're starting, as you work out, especially when you couple it with cardio, high intensity cardio, you're emptying out those carbohydrates so that you can get down to this fat level and start burning your own fat, you guys. Like, you're literally going to be like obtaining energy from your own fat stores. If you can imagine what that's going to do for your midsection, what that's going to do for your overall body composition, you guys, it is huge. So that's the overall goal. And our program guide lays all this out for you. It shows you how on low carb days, how we couple that with our workouts, and same as with high carb days. So our bodies are designed to need carbs, right? And I know, like, the popular opinion, especially over the past, I don't know, 10, maybe even 15 years, is that carbs are the enemy. I used to think carbs were the enemy. I've tried to stay on keto multiple times, and it literally would maybe work for a little bit, but at the end of the day, is it sustainable? Maybe for some, but I would say for most not. And so we need to make sure that we forget the mindset that carbs are bad, but more so utilizing carbs and pairing it with our workouts so that we can achieve our optimal body composition. So for now, because within the Fit to 5, you guys don't have custom macros, the easiest way to do this is to think on your high carb days, I want you to just add in another carb per day. Think about a fruit, add pineapples, bananas, add a half a cup of rice, add a half of a sweet potato to your day. For your low carb, think protein, right? I said this yesterday in the protein lesson, was you want to build your plate around protein, specifically on your low carb days. Because if you're not hitting your protein numbers and you're not hitting your fat numbers on your low carb days, and you're only getting a small amount of carbs on those days, you're not going to be happy, right? So like, make sure you're hitting the protein, because protein is going to keep you feeling fuller longer. And then when you pair it with a little bit more fat than you would have on your high carb days, you guys, you'll be fine. Like, it literally takes a little bit to get used to, but I promise you, if you hang in there, you are going to be knocking it out of the park and hitting your numbers to like be able to achieve your overall body composition. You can still have on your low carb days. So say tonight I'm gonna have chicken, right? It's Wednesday. I'm gonna have chicken. I might have some berries, some zucchini, broccoli. Think like vegetables in terms of carbs on the low carb days. And again, pairing that with your protein. So then that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. And then we go back into Friday and Saturday, the high carb days, to be able to replenish ourselves with carbs, and then jump into those resistance training days so that we can break those muscles down, replenish those muscles with the carbohydrates so that they can come back leaner and stronger and more toned. It's incredible, you guys, how powerful carb cycling is. This will accelerate your results tenfold. I will tell you, it might take you a couple of weeks to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you really get into a rhythm, and you're gonna figure out what foods you're gonna be able to do to hit your macros on a daily basis. And then you'll quickly be able to figure out, okay, I can swap out a sweet potato for some rice, or I can swap out this for that in terms of just the items that you like to eat on a daily basis, so that you don't get bored with it, and that you can really achieve the results that you're looking for. I will tell you, this doesn't come overnight. Like, I've been practicing this for 7 years, and so I'm very in tune to it now, to the point where I can intuitively eat. I used to weigh everything. My measuring cup was out, my scale was out. I tracked every little thing, because I wanted to be able to achieve maximum results, and I wanted to really understand what my body needed to achieve those results. And so logging everything down to the T enabled me to do that, and to really, really understand what my body needed. In our signature weight loss program, we will take and do an assessment for you and really build macros specifically for you on your high carb and your low carb days. This is not a one size fits all. Everybody is different. And so that is something we offer in the Fit to Cut, which is the 4-week program that follows this program. But eventually the goal is that you won't need me, you won't need Jesse, that you understand how to do this, you understand how to apply, the intermittent fasting that Jesse talked about on Monday, how to reach and like what your protein number needs to be, that I talked about yesterday, and then how to bring it together with carb cycling as well, so that you're utilizing these 3 strategies to be able to develop a lifestyle that you can eat the foods your family loves, go out and do things that you love to do on the weekends without feeling restricted, and achieve the results that you're looking for. Tomorrow, Jesse will provide just even some more information on how to be successful with this program, and how to kind of like tie it all together. But that is all I have for you today. Happy Wednesday, happy low carb day, and happy cardio day. Bye, guys.